In this video, I interview Glenn from Beleaf In Fatherhood, who recently just crossed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And in this video, he breaks down 5 strategic tips that led to that growth that you can apply to your channel. Coming up. This video is brought to you by vidIQ, the #1 Chrome extension for YouTubers looking for on-point data analysis, research resources, and enhanced video creator tools. Start getting more views in less time today by signing up for free at vidiq.com/influence. That's vidiq.com/influence. Hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Video Influencers. Help you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. And I'm super pumped to be here with Glenn, AKA Beleaf. How's it going?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you?
Super pumped. We're here at Clamor in Palm Springs, an influencer conference. And I'm super excited because you recently crossed 100,000 subscribers. Congrats.
Thank you, brother. I feel like it took forever.
For sure. And we're going to be talking about tips of how you got there, specifically 5 things. But Glenn's an incredible human being. He is a YouTuber, of course, really a visual storyteller. He is a speaker, just did a TED Talk, author, and also a rapper MC, right?
I got bars.
I got too much imagination for my quiet time. I love my God, my wife, my kids, and that's the bottom line. People tell me to speak the truth until they hear my mind. And then they double back and say, hey, yo, you're out of line.
For sure.
For sure. And so, man, so pumped to have you on the show today.
Thank you, bro.
But for those who are maybe just getting to know you, talk a little bit about your journey and just what you're up to.
Yeah, so right now, I've been doing on YouTube for 2 years, and it's actually a little bit of help from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hopped on a call with Sean a while ago, and he gave me a little bit of support and kind of showed me some things I could have been doing better. And so, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I make videos about how great it is to be a father. I love talking about the truth about parenting. I feel like a lot of people are lied to before they become parents, and they're like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever, and no one tells you about the poop, the spit up, the throw up. Like, it's just, sometimes it's really hard, and how we deal with that, and trying to usher our kids along to become better human beings. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I love that. And you recently crossed 100,000. I'm excited to get to the tips, but what's been that journey? I mean, just about a year ago, where were you at, and what does this last year look like?
Yeah, I was at 20K a year ago. We were at Clamor. I was at 20K, and I was just really trying to figure out what was next. My wife and I, she was supposed to go back to work. We had just had our last baby. The baby was like 2 months old at the time. And so she decided that she wasn't going to go back to work. And I was like, man, like, I really want to, like, I need your support. But she was like, look, I'm not going back, so figure it out. You know what I mean? And so it kind of put me in a position to, like, you know, go hard or go home. You know what I'm saying? So I really had to put the pedal to the floor. And I ended up getting an iPhone billboard. So my son was on an iPhone billboard, shot on iPhone. And then I got on the Gary Vee show, and I was supposed to, like, I thought he was going to give me the magic juice, you know what I'm saying, or the magic pill. But basically, he just told me to get a job. Instead of getting a job, I got on my job and just started really pushing toward what I wanted to do.
Man, that's so awesome. And it's been cool to see you rise. And there's a couple things that really have led to that we kind of talked about off camera. So we got 5 tips. And the first one is be a dealer, not a user. Talk about that.
Exactly, yeah. So you never get high on your own supply. You want to be pushing out more content than you're consuming. You know, it's okay to check out, you know, maybe Sean Cannell, check out a little bit of Gary Vee, a little bit of Casey here and there, but you don't want to always be consuming and eating and eating and eating. You want to be producing way more than you're consuming. So you have a couple people you're inspired by and a couple people who help you get the best gear, stay motivated and stay ready, but you don't want to be influenced by so many people who are going to, you know, kind of change your style and make you feel like you're not working hard enough and stuff like that.
That's a super powerful tip, and I've noticed a trend that's happening kind of in our space, and there's so much to learn. Yeah. So we should be reading books or watching YouTubers or listening to webinars or going to conferences, but I think a lot of influencers and aspiring influencers can fall into a trap of information overload.
Yes.
They think the secret is in the next thing, and there probably is that, but you got to be taking action, right?
Yeah, and I think, like, some people, like, I'm not offended if you don't watch my channel. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm mature in knowing that you have your own job and stuff to do. And I think some people feel loyalty to other YouTubers and they feel like they have to be consuming their content, but it's really not true. You really have to get yourself in a place where you're consistently uploading and you're confident, you know what I mean? And that's why you really can't be consuming that much. So
That's super powerful. The second one is viral attempts. What is that?
Yeah, so that was, there's other ideas that you have in your brain that may take a little bit more effort. And so you invest in those opportunities. That video for me was a lie detector test. I saw Jimmy Kimmel. He had like this lie detector video with on his show. And I was like, man, this is really dope. So I had a friend build a lie detector test that pops open in a suitcase. And I did it for Christmas, like a naughty or nice type thing. And, it went, it got 1 million views, you know what I mean? And so I knew that it was a good idea because I saw someone else's success, but I changed it and flipped it and turned it into like this investigative thing with me and my kid. And it was a lot different, but I knew it was going to do well. So it did.
That's super powerful. And there's another one that you also uploaded to Facebook. Talk about that and maybe cross-platform too.
Yeah, that was my first real viral video, I think. That was, it was on Facebook, and basically I'm sitting there, I'm doing my son's hair, and I'm giving him these positive affirmations. Say, I am strong. Say, God loves me. Say, I am a leader. And I'm just talking to him, and I'm asking him real questions that I have to ask my children, which is, who are you? And a 3-year-old, he's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you got to figure out who you are. And some people were kind of irritated with that because they were like, man, like, why are you asking a 3-year-old who they are? Why don't you just let them run outside and play? And I'm like, man, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be alive. Like, I don't have time to just assume that they're going to figure it out later. You know what I'm saying? So it's my point right now as a father to take responsibility for the time I have on my kids and use it wisely.
And if you had any advice for those watching, if they're like, okay, cool, viral attempts, but they feel like they're staring at a blank page, like where do you draw that inspiration? What is just maybe a trigger to maybe, man, how could I do a viral attempt on my channel and my niche?
Yeah, what you want to do is I think you want to think outside the box for sure, you know what I mean, and try something that's going to be a little bit challenging, so something harder than you're used to doing, you know what I'm saying? And then I think you're going to need help. You're going to need to allow other people to steer, allow other people to shoot, allow other people to flush out ideas, to tell you when your ideas suck. Those are things that I think you just need kind of more community, to be honest. But once you have that great idea, like, just run for it. And once you get it down, don't let the obstacles stop you. Just try to get it out to the best of your ability. And once it's out, try the next thing.
And you were even willing to invest money when resources were tight. Like, you were willing to kind of take risks, not knowing if it'd work or not.
Yeah. And that's important too, because this is what I do. This is my job, my livelihood. And even when my wife was like, babe, I trust you, but I trust you. You know what I mean? It put more like emphasis on me, and so when I decided to start a second channel and buy a $2,000 puppet, like, she was okay with that, you know what I mean, because she saw how hard I was working, and she saw everything that was happening on the YouTube channel, all the positive responses and all that stuff. So once I invested into the puppet, she knew it was a great idea, so she allowed me to do that. And that type of accountability was great to have, but she did trust me. And so investing in my channel, like, that's one of the best things you can do.
Awesome. I love it. Well, tip number 3 for growing to over 100,000 subscribers was the power of having a niche and really having a brand. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm a stay-at-home dad, and so my group of people that are supported by me and like me were mostly stay-at-home fathers, you know what I mean? And so being a stay-at-home dad, it's not a lot of people who understand what it's like to be a stay-at-home dad, and so we are a very small group of people, but we are heavily supported by each other. We know, like, that how hard it is to stay at home with your kids, how hard it is to focus on making dinner and doing stuff like that and keeping the house clean for your wife, let alone, and so it's like such a weird group of guys, but we all support each other. And that was kind of the thing that kind of set me apart, because I had this group of people who I was involved in, and most of them are bloggers, or Instagram influencers. Not a lot of them are on YouTube. And so because I was kind of like one of the only people on YouTube, I had that niche, which allowed me to kind of still set myself apart in my own group of influencers, Yeah. And so I don't watch a lot of like family vloggers, you know what I mean? Because I don't consume a lot of content. But the people who I am around, they're always, kind of sharpening me, and they're like a tribe, you know what I'm saying? And so having a tribe and a good support system of men or women or whoever you're around is going to help this, just kind of set you apart,
Yeah, that's really strong, and actually reminds me of the book Tribes by Seth Godin, and influencers. If you haven't checked that out, highly recommend it. We'll link it in the description below. But one of the things he talks about is it's kind of a mistake to try to start a tribe, like to start. I mean, and I don't mean what he means is like there's already tribes that exist.
Right.
You were self-aware. You were a stay-at-home father, and it brought unity and community around that community already, right?
Exactly.
So the question is like, who are you? What's your DNA? What are some of the unique things about you that you could plant your flag with, and then people who are in that same kind of community would love it. I mean, you could talk about like being a raw vegan or something.
Yeah,
you start
for
standing
sure.
for that. People who are also that immediately start to gravitate. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but yeah, I do. And the thing is, like, okay, so you're a raw vegan, but maybe you like ping pong like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's vegan and ping pong, you know?
Yeah.
And so for me, it was fatherhood and hip hop and cooking. And, you know, I had all these niches, and you were the one to help me like focus on one thing in the video. You know what I mean? So I could even add elements of my own flavor, but I still had one single topic. So you really helped me out with that early on. I think I was at 4,000 subscribers, and you got on the FaceTime with me. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate that. I keep telling you all the time how much I appreciate that. But having a niche and then partnering your niche with something else, which makes you this guy and something. You know what I'm saying?
And that's super strong. We actually did a video about double niching. And so if you want to check that out, we'll throw on the YouTube card. But I love that, super strong. And it's just so true that in such a noisy world, the online space, if you try to reach everybody, you really end up reaching nobody.
Yes.
And so knowing your kind of corner in the market and being you times two, super powerful. Well, let's jump into tip number 4.
Yep.
And that was let your audience choose you.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so sometimes you might see a certain type of person who you think is your audience, and you want to attract that type of person, so you do things that type of person likes. But if you just be yourself, your audience will tell you what they love about you, and then you can say, you know what, I do like that about myself, and I can be more of that. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was like I'm the black dad that hangs out with his kids and fights his kids with pillows. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were like wrestling all the time, and that was the thing. But I was like, man, at first I was like, man, I don't want to just be the black dad. I want to be the dad for everybody. But if my audience was saying, hey, we appreciate you as a black father, then I need to represent that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really who I am, and so you don't ever want to fight the audience. You ever been to a show and somebody's rapping and then the crowd isn't feeling it, and then the person blames it on the crowd?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't blame it on the crowd. You take responsibility and you just accept that you suck and you need to change.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
strong. And that's very powerful. Number 5 was then consistency, or really consistent quality content.
Yeah.
You've been on this journey over the last year growing. What's kind of been your content schedule? And I mean, has it been easy? Has it been hard?
I think one thing that people like about the channel is that they know that if I miss a day, I'm doing it because I'm doing something with my family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I never put videos or content in front of my family. That's like super number one basic thing. Nothing goes in front of them, right? But there is please respect my space while I'm working. Please don't ask me to wipe your butt when I'm doing my videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need that time. And so it's been consistent for sure. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I just don't want to put something out just for putting it out. Like, I want to make sure that it's something that's, it tugs at the heart. It has that musical element. It has the subtitles if it calls for that. Sometimes you can't understand what the kids are saying, so I throw subtitles in there. And it challenges you to think about if you're not a parent yet, your relationship with your father, your relationship with your sister or your brother, or just the people in your tribe and community, And so I like to add a couple different themes, and I make sure that, one, I tell a story, which is super big, and then 2, there's a reflective moment where I can say, maybe I shouldn't have talked to my son this way, or maybe I should have did this different. Oh, you know what? That was a great job between my son and his brother and how they shared at this moment. You know what I mean? So it's something that the audience can take away. Like, they put themselves in my shoes, you know what I mean? Because I'm the guide, you know what I mean? So they put themselves in my shoes and they listen and they think about, man, if I was Beleaf, what would I have done different?
That's super powerful. And what was like your upload schedule over that year?
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
Yeah.
And would you say, because I liked you really said, but I want to make sure it's right. Would you almost say consistency is so important, but quality is even a little bit higher than that? So if you want to slow down your consistency to make sure it's right?
I sometimes, you can overthink it. You can overthink it, and you could be like, well, this isn't good enough, so I'm not going to upload it. But sometimes it's just like a neighbor who you want to make sure is doing okay. Because when I don't post, people comment, hey, are you doing okay? Is everybody okay? Is someone in the hospital?
Yeah.
Like, nah, man, we just over here in Palm Springs, chill, you know?
Yeah.
But they want to know what's going on. So it's really important to touch base and say, hey, guys, this is what we're up to. You know, check out this, or check out my buddy over here. And now that YouTube has that little community segment, I can always post pictures and stuff like that and keep people updated. So I think that quality is really important. Consistency, I think it's neck and neck, but I would almost go consistency over quality.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just me, because sometimes I'm ultra creative. You know what I mean? So I'm always like, this needs a drone shot. You know what I mean? Like everything is like that. But the truth is, like, they would be okay because most YouTubers are just like this talking. You know what I mean? So when I do these gimbal shots and, put the GoPro in the oven, open the, you know what I mean? Like it may be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it. And we say done is better than perfect a lot.
Yes.
And so at some point, as creatives, we could analyze it forever. It's kind of like robbing the George Lucas quote. He said, no movie is ever finished. It's only abandoned.
Yes.
And you watch Star Wars, you're like, that's pretty good. He's probably seen stuff like, yeah, we had to get it out, though, but that was wrong.
Yeah.
There was an error there. But at some point, he had to ship it. How much truer is that for YouTubers? Like, no YouTube video is ever finished. It's only abandoned.
Exactly.
At some point, you got to hit publish and just put it out.
Yeah, and that's the same thing Jack Conte says from Patreon. He says, it's all about not artwork. It really is never complete. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing's ever finished. It's always published or released early. Man, I agree with that so much.
So strong. Well, are you ready for the lightning round?
Oh, I'm ready for whatever you got. Something
like
that. I think anyway. Yeah.
What was that? And lightning round. 3, 2, 1. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Every day, but first coffee?
Tea. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Really? Tea?
Yeah, tea.
Book every influencer watching should read.
Ooh, The Thank You Economy by Gary Vee.
Yeah. Strong.
You have to appreciate your squad and the people watching you.
100.
That's really important.
Super good book. It's probably the most slept on book by Gary Vee. And so we'll link that up in the description if you want to check that out. Favorite TV show that you like to binge watch?
The Office, 100%.
Right? Man.
4 or 5 times a year?
Sure. The whole season?
Oh my God.
The Michael Scott era
oh my gosh.
is historic.
Yeah. I like Rob California though. Straight up.
Yeah. Cat or dog?
Dog. All day.
You got a dog?
No.
Okay. Favorite social network besides YouTube?
Instagram. Man,
Everybody's been saying that. Like we know, it's like I don't know why we asked that question. Like you want to be on it.
The stories, it's so much community there. I love it.
Favorite documentary or movie that you love?
13th.
What's that?
13th. It was all about how this is going to be controversial.
Okay.
But about how politicians were setting up black people to stay in jail, which is like more slavery. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
No, strong.
Yeah.
Hidden talent that maybe, especially our tribe wouldn't know, but maybe even your tribe wouldn't know about.
Ooh, hidden talent. I could say the alphabet backwards.
Ooh.
ZYXWVUTSR QPO NMLK JIHGFE DCBA. Boom.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Dosis espialifragilistically. Let's get out of here.
What? No miss morning ritual.
Prayer.
If you could give a TED Talk, you have. So let's talk about your TED Talk. What was it on?
My TED Talk was on how I knew nothing about being a stay-at-home father, and I thought I knew everything, and how I actually learned more by being a father than I thought I was teaching.
Wow, super powerful. And it was TEDx, and then it went on TED?
I had to upgrade that.
Man, that's big.
You know what I'm saying?
It actually is huge.
Yeah.
So, respect.
Thank you.
Definitely check it out. We'll link to it on the YouTube card in the description below as well. How has a failure or setback in your life set you up for future success? And do you have a favorite failure?
Ooh, my favorite failure was my ushering out of music. I thought I was going to be rapping for the rest of my life, and I thought I was dope, and I thought I was the best. But it turns out hip-hop gave me more pride than it did anything else. You know what I'm saying? And so I realized that by traveling around the world and doing all these shows that I was actually jeopardizing my family because I was leaving them. And the biggest stage I will ever perform on is in my living room in front of my children.
Powerful stuff.
And so that was my favorite failure.
Favorite place in the whole wide world?
Jamaica. That was my honeymoon.
Love that.
It's lit, yeah. St. Anne's.
Quote that you like to think about often or kind of try to live your life by?
Don't be weary in doing good. I can't remember the scripture. I think Galatians 5:9.
Yeah.
But sometimes
in the proper season, you'll reap a harvest if you don't give up.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because most of us think we're doing this great thing, and we are, but we get so tired of doing the good things. You know what I mean? And it's so powerful when you just keep doing good, you know?
Strong.
Yeah.
Love that. And then what advice would you give to your 20-year-old self? If I knew then what I know now.
Don't be patient, man. You got a lot of time. And don't be so in a rush to find like a mate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You could really rush that process and try to find a girlfriend and end up getting heartbroken like 8 or 9 times. You know? So
strong. Lightning round. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, brother.
You've got some cool stuff going on, so we'll link up to all your stuff, but go ahead and give a roll call to what you have going on and even some cool stuff that's happening right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I just dropped this book. This is my book. It's a bedtime story. It's called It's Bedtime Now. It features myself and the chocolate babies, which are my kids. And basically this book it's like my first book. You know what I'm saying? It's really special to me.
Cool.
You know, so it's self-published, and you can get that on my website. But I've actually been chosen to be an ambassador for the YouTube Creators for Change program. And so YouTube and Google, they're putting together this effort to kind of change the platform in a positive light and kind of shed some light on some issues, xenophobia, hate speech, extremism. And so I've been kind of chosen. I get to tell a story, and I get support from YouTube, and it's just going to be awesome. So I'm headed out to London to go through like another camp, you know what I mean? And it's going to be dope. So that's kind of what's going on with me right now.
I love that. So we'll post links to everything in the description below, as well as Beleaf's channel. And I just want to acknowledge you. I just have so much respect for who you are, and just so grateful for the difference you're making in the world, the message, what you stand for,
Amen.
And just the quality content you're pumping out. It's a lot of work, and a lot goes on behind the scenes. So thank you for everything that you're doing. Question of the day, influencers. Post in the comments the next action you need to take. There's a lot of tactical tips plus the 5 big tips. It's not just about information. It's about taking massive action. So what was your biggest takeaway? Let us know in the comment section below. And as a final send-off, really content creators, video influencers are really entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurship's a roller coaster. Sometimes you're like, this is rad, and sometimes you're like, I hope this ends soon, man. I want to give up.
Yeah.
And so can you just speak a few words into the influencers watching, just encouragement?
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest thing that you can do is not be fearful, and I think fear is going to limit you. And so usually when I do something that's scary, after I'm done, it's over, and I wish I could do it again without the fear attached, because then I could really enjoy it. So use this time right now to pull off all the fear and everything that you think is going to be the thing that stops you from breathing, and just know that you're going to be okay. And trust your plan, trust your vision, and trust your own work ethic, and just get busy. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy the process.
So strong. Beleaf. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
Influencers, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you want to check out other videos in this interview series, click or tap the screen right over there for another video from Video Influencers. Click or tap the screen right there. Remember, this channel is all about helping you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon.